Stop listening! Instead, stream the uncut version of this discussion by either or both, tipping us on Ko-fi or joining a membership on either Ko-fi or Patreon via the links in the description.
He was the devil in this one skit, and
Patrick Stewart?
And he chokes on the juice of a grape that he eats, and the demon that he's with is remarking on. He's like, what kind of devil gets taken out by grape juice?
He's always the one that's telling me to, like, stop theorizing, like, weird stuff. And in this one, I'm like, dude, what are you? You're so far out right now. Like, what is happening?
You've started doing it in other shows. I'm like, Bridget, come on, can we make a couple leaps? No, Bridget's like the reality police now from now on because of being traumatized by me. I do want to get like a blackout shade too, though, to kind of regulate the light a little bit, because I've noticed that I can play with the color correction in our episodes, but if I do it in one scene and we have a 6 o'clock show, it changes it later.
Yeah, it would be nice as someone who stayed in that room, because changing in that room feels weird. The window is just right there.
Oh. Nobody can. This is the one room nobody can see you.
Then there's a balcony.
Yeah, enjoy. We are. That sounded weird.
Ooh, what high?
It's a sign of aging.
We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh. Most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by...
It's me, Mario. it's me. But that's not even what I say. It's Punky Brewster. What is going on? You can find me at ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. It's PUNKYBRUISETER.
Jason, I'm at Neo's the One on all your favorite socials.
And I am Diana, Screens in Focus. You can find me at screensinfocus.com.
Hell yeah. And today... Thank you, first of all, Diana, for being with us again.
So much fun. I love being here.
Ooh, hopefully be more fun now with Bridget here, tamping my reactions down to this wonderful series called From, which is what we're talking about today. Its third episode of its fourth season, or its penultimate season, technically, titled Merrily We Go. And do we have any housekeeping? No, we don't. I mean, you could buy merch.
Yeah.
But like Jason's
check
wearing
out the
right
merch
now.
store. Yeah.
Is that the print on, or is that that's not the embroidered,
Yeah, that's
right?
a little Patreon exclusive, yeah.
Oh, it is
but
the
it's the newer
Patreon
logo, I believe, right?
It is the new version of it. And again, if you want to join the Patreon, you can get your own Patreon exclusive shirt, by the way. It has a little logo at the bottom, I believe, right?
Right.
Yeah. Still want to sell a bill of goods here, but let's just jump into the title. How does Merrily We Go relate to what we saw this episode?
There's kind of like some beginnings of journeys. Tabitha and Henry with the bottle tree and trying to figure out where that is going to go, which I love that the boy in white came back. Now we have a good reason for why he looks older. I like it. Jade trying to figure out what's going on. There's going to be a beginning of a journey there, especially with being in the woods with Victor and Ethan, trying to look for the Lake of Tears, and then also the man in the yellow sports jacket.
What I noted in my notes was heroes' journeys that we've been going on.
Oh, I was just thinking, Merrily We Go. Okay, that's very sarcastic or very ironic because they're not merrily at all. And everyone is moving in some sort of fashion. So we see Boyd trying to hold things together and Julie chasing for things and Fatima doing something unknown with Elgin. And then with Victor and Ethan and Jade chasing meaning. So it's like motion, but there's no peace.
Right. Things are in motion. The reason why I called it like hero's journey, it's as though, okay, so we're all going on a little quest. We all have a little side quest that we need to do. And in most of these cases, I mean, I don't know if most of these cases, but everybody feels like, at least in this episode, at least the morning, Matthews feels like they need to do something. Mm-hmm. That was another thing that I noted. They all feel like they have to do something to change the story or to change everybody's predicament. And you see Jake kind of reciprocate that need in his frustration to Boyd. How if I don't figure this out, then it goes crazy. There's a desperation, I guess would be the right word, in everybody moving. Even Acosta in her own way feels like I need to move in this direction, which isn't a great one, admittedly. As much as we may be annoyed with her, anybody, I'm not saying me, but anyone, it's not unheard of. She feels like she has to move in a certain direction too, even Sophia moving into Sarah's home is a sort of direction of sorts.
Merrily, it's kind of like a old children's song. Everybody thinks this is like a fairy tale. It's merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream.
Yeah.
Are they in a dream? That also connects to row, row, row your boat. Lake of Tears. They're looking for a body of water.
Nursery rhymes.
Nursery rhyme, yeah. Made me think of that.
Well, there was a nursery rhyme in the, what was that, the second season? Remember
Is there one in the
rhyme?
Chronicle? Or?
Well, they mentioned her this episode, and that was Bhakta, the bus driver. She's still in charge of the diner, and she mentions this nursery rhyme, which connects to the whole music box people.
Yes.
We go, we something else.
Yep.
We something.
There's like a rhyme.
Nursery rhyme. Elgin's grandmother is the thing he remembered, if you remember. It was right around season 2, episode 9. Elgin says, "Oh, I remember it." And then in episode 10, he explains it. I remember it was my grandmother's nursery rhyme, which
it has to do with the dancer.
The music box.
The ballerina.
Yeah, which had the ballerina in it, but then she was an actual person that Boyd saw. I don't know. I'm dancing for the podcast. So anyway.
Yes, Dave did pirouettes just then.
I did kind of like a
you're doing
funky
like a
chicken.
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah. Or like it'd be like the wave in a baseball stadium, like, whoa, but like, anyway, whatever. I'm funky. I break dance sometimes.
You're funky.
It's really weird. They touch, they break, they steal. No one here is free. Here they come for 3, unless you stop the melody.
Julie and Randall and who was the third?
Well, I was more thinking Ethan, Jade, and Victor.
Yeah, who were the 3 that were chained up?
That was Julie, Randall, and Marielle.
Right.
I want to say something before we continue further, is that I've always loved the 3rd episode of From. It's where Tien Chan might have been her funeral.
The 3rd episode of the 3rd season?
The 3rd episode of every season. It feels like a choo-choo train that kind of starts moving now after it goes right? It keeps going. Well, let me just explain one thing that happened in this episode at the end, which was Boyd's encounter with whatever that hand was.
Yeah.
Near
zombie.
Abby's grave, right? Yeah, exactly.
A traditional zombie.
Like, what is this show? Are we genre blending now? That's interesting because except for the 2nd season, and I could fact check this because maybe there was a scene in the 3rd episode of the 2nd season. Every 3rd episode, Boyd visits Abby's grave. 1st season,
cool.
3rd season, 1st season, 3rd season, and 4th season.
Interesting.
In the 2nd season, it was the 4th and 5th episode. I just thought maybe there's something to it.
Yeah.
1st season it feels like things are normal, and then the Matthews come in. The 3rd season, it was, we're going to get out of here. 3rd episode of the 3rd season. This one is, I'm changing, and I don't like what I'm becoming. It's no longer about any of the other 2 things. It is sort of a bellwether of how things are sort of getting worse. Like a little marker along the way to kind of have a trajectory to see where this is going. And you know what? By all accounts, I kind of agree, especially given the end of the episode. What Victor sees, it feels like, and this is debatable, I think, so let's get into this. Do you feel like Victor is remembering something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Or he's had dreams about it. Just because a lot of what Victor saw has been repressed, clearly, psychologically, in order for him not to break 100%. I mean, he obviously is very stunted emotionally, mentally, because of everything that he's seen, which I think we can all understand because of how crazy it's been. And the fact that they didn't have the talisman for so much of that time. So he was just running around in the woods hiding every night, looking for different spots to hide, which I can't imagine doing that as a child. That's horrific. But the fact that he said,
I told myself it wasn't real.
Yeah,
right?
that just made me think, did he have nightmares about this? And he's been soothing himself with the idea that like, this isn't real. It's just a nightmare. Or is it a memory that he's told himself like, oh no, that was just a nightmare I had. That wasn't
That's
real.
not how it happened or something.
He's drawn the man in yellow before, so he knows what the clothes look like.
Did he? Or was that Miranda? Or Miranda's painting more of the point?
Sure.
Hard to say.
I thought I
Pretty sure
read
they're colored drawings.
I don't remember, but I read somewhere that he did draw it.
There's a drawing I've seen recently. Man in yellow's on the left, and there's like a dead body on the right.
I see Miranda's painting.
Well, Miranda's art style, I think, would be described as kind of primitive, right?
I don't know if I'd call it that, but still, yeah. Okay, maybe.
I mean, there's modern primitive art. It just means simplified. Sometimes for me, it's hard to tell the difference between Victor's art and his mother's art. there's some similarities to it sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like quick, crude strokes in her art. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Looks like Xander Berkeley's art, if you've ever seen it. It's pretty good, but it's somewhat similar. Okay. Rough strokes with different impact on the paper, so as to kind of show emphasis or, you know, like facial features. Yeah, sort of. But then like he'll like rub it out to kind of, in case he wants to make it a little less prominent or something. It's interesting. It too is sort of like a rough sort of, things aren't precisely as they look, but more as how they feel, I guess, in his vision. Miranda's drawings are more like that than Victor's crude, stick figurey, blobby figured drawings. He has a child's drawing style. I feel like I'm attacking him. I feel bad for it.
It would be considered neo-expressionism in today's world, Dave. Don't worry about it.
Oh, banana on the wall for you. Okay, sure. Weirdo.
I teach art history to children, Dave. So.
Yeah. Did you give them participation trophies too?
No, I just teach them phrases that they'll never remember later in life.
Should tell them to rub dirt in it. The paintings, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we do stuff outside. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, actually. So it's kind of being weird, but yeah. This is where I'm getting to is I think we've seen him draw the Man in Yellow's handiwork, though. It's sort of where my brain was heading.
Okay.
Do you remember the scene of young Victor walking around the town in the aftermath of Miranda's failure, let's say?
Yes.
I'm just, for lack of a better word. All the bodies in the street looked like the way Jim looked in the barn, hollowed out, gutted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Man in Yellow says is my favorite part. If we're talking about cycles and breaking cycles or not breaking cycles or repeating cycles, could this is happening again? What Victor saw?
I would argue the Man in Yellow didn't hang Jim in the barn. That's your every night
Be
monster.
politically correct, Bridget, about the monsters.
So they tend to...
Also, they're called night creatures. Excuse me.
I guess it's eviscerate their victims.
Sure.
They like to hollow them out. They did that with Tian Chen
the Pratts.
and the Pratts.
Oh, yeah.
So I believe they left the note because the Man in Yellow was already playing Sophia at this point. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't give orders to them. I think he does. There's like a pecking order, and I would argue he's higher up than they are. But I don't think he did that himself. He killed Jim by ripping his throat out.
Could it be that he did this to make it look like the monsters did, to cover up the fact that he actually did it? Because if they know too much is what he said, which is why he had to change his shape.
Yeah, possibly. When we find Sophia, she's outside. When Kenny finds her, so she could have been doing that while he was sleeping. Maybe.
Who knows how long Kenny dozed off, and that was her excuse for being out there.
Kind of like a lot of work, and then
it would.
Did you get naked to do that?
Ew. What?
Well, because her clothes aren't bloody.
Interesting thought process, though.
Seems weird.
Kudos. Well, you wouldn't have to. The blood would have been still. It wouldn't have been running through his veins. It wouldn't have taken too much.
I agree with you. I think that he orchestrated it. I don't think he actually
did it.
Yeah.
I see. It doesn't really matter who did it.
It doesn't.
The purpose of what is the end goal?
Victor.
We're getting closer to something. I have this feeling that maybe he remembers who went throughout the town. Or I don't know. Clearly he's seen the garb, which is why he's pissing his pants literally.
Right.
And so he's remembering something he saw maybe the Man in Yellow do. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe we saw that. Yeah, maybe this calamity that he experienced as a child, maybe it wasn't all the monsters.
Oh, yeah. No, I 100%.
That's kind of what I was going with.
I 100% agree with that. I don't think that the Man in Yellow is the one who eviscerated every single town person. But I think that he was definitely a part of that, because I would argue that that's what he's talking about when he says eventually they'll tear each other apart. We're getting to that point.
I am wondering if the town will do it to themselves as well. And then if that's the case, where does the Man in Yellow fit?
I could see this creating a situation in which they turn on each other because they don't trust each other. Then in that situation, I don't know how this would have gone when Victor was a kid. However, in this situation, are you locking people out of your house, allowing them to be killed because you don't think that they are who they say they are? Or I think maybe in Victor's time, you would have yelled to get the monster's attention and then ran to like try to get them to get someone for you, or you're out there arguing and then that garners the attention of the night creatures or whatever.
Thank you for your sensitivity to this matter. Thank you.
whatever.
I get what you're saying. Some townspeople might turn on the other townspeople to get them to not get them. And
exactly.
Okay,
the seeds are already being sown.
Right.
By Sophia coming in and saying like, oh, so you're saying everything bad happened when they got here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah.
And it's like,
which means like, okay, it's the Matthews' fault that we're even experiencing this level
which obviously that's
awful.
not what Kenny was saying, but now it was said out loud, very loudly in the diner. So who else heard that? And are we going to switch perspectives next week to now kind of follow some of those other characters to say like, oh yeah, when the Matthews showed up, that did change everything. And
as a matter of fact, yeah. Those rascally Matthews who just lost their father, maybe it's their fault.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's still alive. They're covering it up. Gross. What if? Maybe. Dave with his crazy theories. So I was actually going to lead to something else. One show don't tell that we saw in the first episode was Sophia being able to touch the talismans. Now, I don't know if the monsters can or can't touch the talismans, but we haven't seen it. So there's an assumption that maybe they can't. But if Sophia / the man in yellow can, well, it wouldn't take much for in the dead of night, Sophia, who clearly was outside, it doesn't matter that she didn't eviscerate Jim's body himself or herself or itself. She can clearly go to each house and remove the talismans and chaos ensues, right? Because if this thing can infiltrate the town and remove talismans, then wouldn't that be enough to tear everybody apart? Because what would be the thing to be able to get everybody at once and knowing where everybody is now? Whereas Boyd was switching places when he first came into town.
Yeah. Or even use Sarah to her advantage in that way, now that she's moved in with her.
Use her as a means? Convince her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It would be hard.
I don't think she would convince her as she is, but she was hearing voices. Where were those coming from, or whose voices are those?
She's getting stuff written on her arm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where that information comes from yet.
But that's interesting because when was the last time we heard Sarah hear a voice is the first question. Here's the second question. Another interesting thing I noticed by way of this episode, when Randall's in the house or underneath the collapsed Matthews house, which was the Pratt house, by the way, if you remember. The Pratts, Frank Pratt, his wife and daughter were, Frank was in the box. The monsters eviscerated him. Randall stumbles across Brick's body. Brick is the kid who dies because, well, a bunch of stuff fell on him and he died. Who knows how? Maybe internal bleeding, whatever it is. And then the mouse comes out and you're like distracted by that.
Well, he couldn't keep his cool either.
Yeah.
Well, who could blame him? It was his first night here in the bus. We were all frustrated, but I can't blame him. And yet here we are.
He was Elgin's friend, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I thought they were friends. They were sitting across the aisle from each other, I thought. And I thought that they knew each other, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Maybe you want that to be the case.
Maybe.
I want that to be the case. Elgin needs a friend, and maybe he's found one in Fatima. Anyway, back to the
whatever's
house,
happening there.
Still in the collapsed Matthews house. What other body was there? Do you remember his name? And do you remember what his occupation was?
He was the bartender, hot bartender.
Debatable?
Hot bartender.
He was hot.
He was cute. Yeah.
I can't remember now.
I can't remember his name.
It's Tom. It's Tom the bartender.
Hot bartender.
Why am I bringing this up?
Where was Tom's body?
Well, less about the where. I'm not really concerned about the logistics of that, right? Because it's fine. Who cares? But now you're making me think maybe I should have paid more attention to that, because I was going to bring up a chain of things that we kind of sort of forgot. The visions of people we see throughout the show. Boyd has seen Abby. We saw this in our little peek back into season 2, episode 9, which I did include in the last episode because of the whole Julie story walking, screaming out dad. We didn't hear it, just so you all know who didn't watch it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for looking into
David
that.
and I would spend like 15 to 30 minutes looking up stuff, episodes to see if we heard anything in the background.
Oh, there's 74. Khatri's Bible, which I did mention in the first episode.
You did, yeah.
He mentions there are 73 chapters or something to that effect of the Bible or something like that. 73 books, and we're the 74th. What is 74 if not 47 backwards?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll give you that one. It's teetering on the edge.
I don't credit sort of to a commenter who commented on the Bible clip that we released from that episode. Interesting. Okay. So I just wanted to credit that. Maybe I'll show it on the screen. I don't remember off the top of my head. Abby shows up in the RV. Was really the point of why I brought that up, because so there's the Abby ghost, the Khatri ghost, and Tom, the bartender ghost who was harassing Jade. Where are they?
We haven't seen them since all this
the
stuff
music
with
box, right?
The music box, yeah.
was season 2.
Yeah.
Did we see Katri at all in season 3? I'm struggling to remember, and I don't know if I do.
Remember.
Oh, yes, we do. Right before Boyd goes to torture Elgin. Is this who you want to be? Is this who you want to become? Are you ready to cross that line?
You're right.
Which he's sort of talking to Abby about right now.
Thank God you remember this, Dave, because I sure don't.
I take extensive notes, and the hope is that they stay in here. It doesn't always work. The only reason why I'm bringing this up, because in addition to all these ghosts and things people are seeing and voices people are hearing, you've got Sarah with both the writing in the arm, the voices whispering in her ear, saying really awful things and bullying her to do things to get people to be saved. Like a bully that's bullying you to save people.
A benevolent bully. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't listen to that voice. Anyway. Oh, and then Elgin, obviously, with the kimono wearing lady. Wow, I almost forgot what to call her. There's the Japanese name, and there's the flood lady, right? There's all these.
We just called her. That's what we call her.
Yeah, because she used to scream, and then she stopped because of the fan interaction. The fan was like, I don't like that. It's dumb. It's not scary at all.
It was funny.
Do you remember this? When we first saw the kimono wearing lady, she actually would sort of opera scream. Was it opera scream?
It was kind of like, it was like, I don't know. It was really weird.
Something.
She sounded
spooky.
like one of those ghosts that you hang on a tree outside that goes like, that like jiggles.
Yeah, like a spirit Halloween. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they stopped doing that in season 3, if I remember right, because they were like, fans did not like that.
That was weird.
Her name was like Ubume, if you remember. Now I just recalled it now in the mythos that they try to bring this up with the Japanese lore. Anyway, I just bring Tom up and the Sarah and the thing, all that, because like, where are they now? Where are all these helpful ghosts, except for the boy in white who maybe is a ghost, or maybe he's growing up?
No, I know what he is.
Okay, so this is a great transition to that, I think.
Okay. So I'd say we finally have an answer, because we talked about this. He's going to age up. What are they going to do? Like, this isn't going to last, because like it never does with teen in white, right? He is the teen in white now.
He sort of had like a punk rock, like, shut up, Tabitha.
Yeah,
you're asking the wrong questions, Mom.
You're wrong.
Anyway,
shut up, Mom. They've lucked out with Ethan. Ethan still has a real baby face. They really hit the jackpot with that kid. He has gotten taller. I think that's very obvious, but his face has stayed young enough that it's like believable that he's still kind of the same age. Whereas the boy in white, holy moly, that kid, no, his voice is down here.
You're asking the wrong question. He's like, I am not juicing. That's sort of like, just like, working out, Mom, in my room alone.
It's
with the
different.
door locked.
Tabitha says something about like, why do you look different now? And he's like, you're asking the wrong questions. And all I could think was, a Dodoy, he's a story walker. First or second season, we talked about that. Ethan's bringing up this story walker concept, and we're like, yeah. Because none of us believed it at that point.
This was before the whole story walker thing was said out loud. We were saying, oh, what if he can do what Julie did in the ruins?
Yes.
Which is season 2.
He's a story walker. And that's why he's aged up. That's why Julie looks different.
That's true.
Oh, short hair Julie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why she has short hair. It's to differentiate that time has passed. There's been some sort of passing of time.
Yeah.
The scar, because she keeps going back. And I'm thinking that she ends up cutting her hair because somebody or something grabs it. Oh, so she cuts it off.
Walking Dead rules. I get you.
You know what I mean?
Oh, like the hand that grabbed Boyd, right?
Something.
Beyond the grave.
Like, just because we see her go back to the night in the RV and already she gets grabbed. So now we're like, okay, they can interact with her. Yeah. She can affect her surroundings, i.e. the rope. Her surroundings can affect her. We now know. Those are the rules now for story walkers. And we've been told that she can't change anything, but if she can affect her surroundings and the rope happened, how true is that?
You're asking the wrong question.
You're asking the wrong question.
It's me now. It's me.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking that everything's getting sped up now.
I agree with you. Even though we're not moving terribly fast in time, in like real time, we're struggling. We haven't even gotten to, hold on, let me just think. Are we still in the same day of Acosta? No. We had a night because Boyd had his nightmare.
He woke up.
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2 days.
Fatima meets Elgin in the dead of night in the kitchen, etc. Okay, so, but still, we're third day, maybe not even third day since the beginning of the season. So the question really is, remember the rules about storywalkers. Storywalkers can't affect anything from the past. They can only reveal it to the people while reading the story, let's say, or to themselves when they walk. What happened already happened. Allegedly. The question I have, you're asking the wrong question. Did the boy in white prevent Tabitha from going through the tree? Because maybe she had gone through the tree.
He affected change.
Possibly, yeah.
That's kind of a cool idea, Dave. Maybe. Who can say? And you know I hate time travel for this reason.
I know.
I hate it.
But where is the boy? Is it somebody we haven't met yet? How is he a story walker, do you think?
Yeah, he'd be a story walker from another time, right?
Yeah,
he would have to
be.
Well, where he has that white outfit.
Yeah, he's dressed like a milkman.
Yeah, like a milkman. Right?
Like an old-timey milkman or an ice cream man.
More like
Like a
I'm not a Christian, so I don't know if this is real, but does he look like he's dressed up for like a baptism?
Sure, yeah. I could see that.
And if he's growing, maybe he was a baby when...
Yeah, why did his clothes grow with him?
It's special powers, baby.
He's just finding all white suits over and over.
It's explicit. If Sophia can turn into Ben Yellow in reverse, the clothes can grow with the child, because I don't think I'd want to see what that would be like.
I don't, but I'm just like, you just keep choosing the white and on white over and over again. It's like it's just a weird choice.
Well, because this way they can recognize him.
And newer Julie, she has a different outfit, right? Or
she does.
Just short hair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she has different clothes.
That makes me think he's different than maybe he died compared to her as the story walker.
He's like a story walker in the afterlife.
He's stuck in that outfit.
Yeah, he's a combination of Khatri and and like a story walker.
He's a forever story walker.
He's forever night. Sorry, that's a dumb. Nobody knows that reference at all. Canadian vampire show.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people know. Some people don't know.
Yeah.
I want to say we've seen it where these people who die don't really die, because we saw Jim in the last episode who might not be Jim. We don't want to believe that it's a bad thing. We want to believe it's a good thing that he's looking for the Lake of Tears. About to say something else.
Well, the hard thing with this, Dave, is we, the viewer, cannot tell when the bad guys are lying. This is what makes the show hard to understand and follow. For instance, Sophia, the crow comes and is at the funeral, and Sophia looks concerned, fearful, maybe even. I was like, oh,
she's like, this is weird face.
That there's something up with that. I don't know. Unreliable narrator, Sophia. I can't trust anything that Sophia is saying or doing. And is Sophia just a really good actress? I would argue yes.
Julia Doyle.
She is.
Yes. She's killing it.
She's
literally.
Great.
Wait.
Even when she's looking outside at Julie, who is yelling at Tabitha after the whole interaction in the diner. Sophia's positioned in a way that maybe no one was looking at her, but the commitment to this character work is top tier. So like, even though the man in yellow could have gotten away with like a smirk in that moment.
She did though. She had like a Napoleon Dynamite face. She was like, yes.
It was more in the eyes than anything else. So there was nothing in the mouth to like let you know that that was happening.
There was a slight smirk.
It's subtle enough that the people around her would not have noticed that she was happy with that interaction. Right. We know that. We're
that
like,
was just for us.
Great.
Yeah.
It's hard. I can't trust anything that's happening. So I can't even trust my normal assumptions that I would make. Like a normal TV show,
right?
I would be like, oh, the crow showed up and Sophia didn't like that based on her facial expressions. And so now I know that there's something up with that. And maybe the crows are actually good and not bad. And that could be the case. However,
then
the crow shows up at the man in yellow suit. I don't know. Is this an Eyes of Odin kind of thing? I'm not sure.
Good reference. Good pull on the Norse mythology here. The Eyes of Odin. Yeah. Odin's
ravens.
If it's a crow, what is a gathering of crows?
A murder. And then a gathering of ravens was it a reckoning? That's in the first episode.
Yes, it was in the RV as the Matthews are driving.
Yes.
No, it's called something else. An unkindness.
An unkindness. A reckoning. Where did I come up with that? Yeah, an unkindness.
Or a conspiracy. There's also another one. It's called a rave, but I think that's just the goth kids. Because they're
that's goth kids.
Insufferable.
That's goth kids.
Colloquially called an unkindness. More than conspiracy. But still, same applies.
A reckoning. I made it sound so much cooler. It was not that cool.
You did actually. It sounds just as cool as Forever Night.
Isn't that the one where he's like a detective?
Yes.
Yes.
He's a vampire cop.
Yeah.
Who shirks off his vampire past.
Yeah, Trav made me watch
Do you remember?
that. Yeah, he made me watch some of that.
It used to come on after all the shows I watched were over, and it was like, oh, I guess I'll watch this. And they're like, gross. They're kissing or some dumb thing. Cool, A-Team. They're also kissing, but it's still cooler.
It's how I feel. It's the memories I have of Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman or whatever.
Same vibe.
Yeah. In Norse mythology, I believe it's ravens. I don't think it's crows. Ravens, who cares? A blackbird of some kind. It's like a Beastmaster situation. Let me bring up other dated references. Odin could see through their eyes. So when the crow or raven, whatever it is, landed there and was squawking, I was like, oh, is it spying for him?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to hear some other things that are interesting? Okay, we talked about a gathering of crows is a murder, and a gathering of ravens is a unkindness or conspiracy. In Norse mythology, Odin's messengers are ravens, not crows. This is my initial search. The two birds are named Hugin and Munin. Hugin is translated as thought, and Munin is translated as memory. Okay. I'm going to get to something that ties all of this up together, because all the words we're saying are very like, what? Wait, what? What? And they serve as Odin's eyes and ears across 9 worlds. Okay, right, the 9 realms. Okay, anyway.
If you play God of War, then you know.
Forget about all of that. Victor's remembering something. It's like Ankui. Ankui means remember. Jade and Tabitha seem to remember this past. Victor is remembering a specific detail about these clothes that belong to some person, probably, that signaled something. I told myself it wasn't real. All of this together. If Victor just slightly nudges a little bit, maybe the man in yellow's schemes might fall apart. But there's one more bit. Because what is Victor if not knowledge comes at a cost? And Victor, out of necessity, has told himself to forget, so that obviously the pictures help him to remember if he needs to remember. But what if it wasn't just traumatic?
Intentionally fractured his mind.
Correct. Or he's had help from someone. Could be the boy in white. Could be a number of things. I have a hard time believing Victor did this to himself without asking, obviously, or because I can't believe somebody would be able to do it himself.
Miraculous thing, Dave. People have repressed memories in our regular crappy world, which is like a tenth of how crappy this world is.
But these feel deliberate, don't they? After a while, you can't forget everything. And yet Victor has forgotten everything.
No, he hasn't.
He forgot he had a sister. Do you remember? That's crazy to think.
But he hasn't forgotten a ton of stuff, Dave, because you have to remember he's the one who was outside measuring to know that the trees were getting closer. He remembers stuff. It's just stuff that maybe we don't find valuable as the viewer.
Or maybe he doesn't really know why he's measuring.
Maybe they are valuable and maybe we're ignoring it. And it's like a really critical part of what's going to unfold later.
Did we ever ignore it? No. Maybe it's this. Well, maybe the place is shrinking. Remember, we thought the place was dying last season, at least, right? The winter came, the crops are dying. Listen, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. All I'm saying is that it feels like, because I had always had a problem with how fractured his memory was.
I don't. I find
the
it very
degree
believable.
to which it was fractured. I'm just referring back to the whole knowledge comes at a cost, which I
I get that. I just disagree with you. I just think you're wrong.
I mean, it's okay to be wrong, but I don't care. It's fine. There was one other thing that has been bugging me about the phrasing of knowledge comes at a cost.
Okay.
If you say that really fast, knowledge comes at a cost.
A cost.
Does it bother you just a little bit that it's phrased specifically in this manner?
Well, if she's truly going to play world's greatest detective here and work this as a case, maybe she brings more knowledge.
I truly believe what she said, though. I think 2 things can be true, but I really admire the way her cop BS detector really called Boyd out on that. It's like, oh, you're just trying to get me not to KIA myself.
Why not work the case, though?
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, what's there to lose? No one else has had the time, really, to work the case.
Sure.
So work the case. Sure. There could be value in that. Nobody knows until you try it.
Although if you really put yourself in her shoes, how can all these nothing things be something? What are you really trying to make me do this for?
No one's been able to find a link between all of these people. Maybe there is one. and it just hasn't been found yet.
True. I just don't know that Boyd was really thinking that far ahead when he gave this to her.
I don't know that he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know
just
that
like
he was.
Jade wasn't really thinking about anything when he finally took on the quest with Ethan and Victor, and then he found the answers, right? He found the psilocybin, I guess, is the implication.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to get high.
Or somebody else might,
He is.
as these things go.
Before we drift away from the ravens, we should pay special attention to them throughout, because maybe this is going to be like a key. Because when we see the ravens at this point, and there's a bunch of them at the funeral, we have to remember Ethan just pulled out a memory about Jim at the grandfather's funeral. And you wear a suit if you respect a man.
Oh.
That's when this raven shows up. A raven shows up when Victor remembers about the man in yellow. So like, if this is going to be indicative of memory,
Thought, memory, right?
Yeah, then.
Or if this is a conspiracy, right? Conspiracy, a gathering of ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting pull. That heralded the crows was Ethan remembering his father and what he said about their grandfather's funeral.
The blazer that Ethan's wearing,
I was going to say.
it's a little bit oversized. I think he could grow into it, just like the blazer that the man in yellow wears.
Exactly. I thought the same thing. I'm like,
another
no,
Ethan is the man in yellow thing.
Why are they talking about the jacket, the suit? And why is the man in yellow wearing a suit? I don't like this correlation.
Let's take it just a tiny bit further and then we'll abandon it. Then what does that say about the man in yellow? There's a weird sort of, I'm supposed to do this. And he does take some sort of pleasure from it as Sophia. I'd said this, I don't know if it came out quite right, but when I'd said it, Jason, you'd said, what do you mean kind? There is a sort of, he does it to Jim and the pastor. I could tell you had kindness in your heart, or.
Yeah, he does say things like that. That's true.
Like he said, you were my favorite.
Who said that?
Oh, the man in yellow before he kills both.
He said something to Jim. Doesn't Sophia say something to the...
Oh, okay.
The Jim thing was even more poignant. It was like, I always liked you. And then Jim says, F you, basically. But there was a sort of reverence.
I see
reverence
that now,
is probably better, yeah.
I see what you're saying.
What if there is a sort of, I may take pleasure in what I'm doing, but there is a sort of respect I have for the people to whom I am doing this to. Because, maybe it's the whole thing about them, like Acosta said, being good. I'm a good person. I don't belong here, she says, but I don't think anybody belongs there, really, of anybody that's here. So maybe there is a sort of respect or reverence, the devil's reverence for God's chosen people, let's say, if we're going to go that way. Ethan manifesting the Lake of Tears, perhaps, and his father knowing about it, or maybe manifesting his dad to convince him that it is real too. There's always that one.
Wait. We have to go back to the beginning of the whole show.
That's where the answers are, right?
We have to go back.
Someone said that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Because remember, they tell the story about Norman in the Lake of Tears. Everybody loses. The monster wins. And then
I would know that Norm dies. That's the story.
The end gets rewritten.
By whom?
I think it's Julie. I think she tries to rewrite the end to make Ethan happy. But
that's right. That does happen. Yeah.
Going to the Lake of Tears, isn't Norm resurrected?
Or he's supposed to be, at least. According to Julie, yes.
So
you nailed it.
Is the thought, if I can get to the Lake of Tears, I can resurrect my dad?
Yeah. If dad is Norm in this scenario, the finger puppet Norman. And they mentioned the finger puppets thing just to kind of refresh your memory too. I thought it was more like breaking minds when it came to, because the whole knowledge comes at a cost. Victor purposely breaking his brain. That's what it's trying to connect. And it explains why he can, again, why hasn't he been killed after all these cycles or years? How has he not been detected? Well, if you purposely forget about things, they don't feel threatened. Oh yeah, it's like the guts trick in The Walking Dead. If you walk around with zombie guts, no zombie's going to pay you any mind. So Victor kind of shrouds himself in a lack of memories. There's no sniffing it out. Maybe the monsters happened. Oh, no maybes. Sorry, I'm going to dial it back. I was going to say, maybe the monsters can sniff you out because of your memories. Shut up, Dave. That's too much. You can't go there.
I was thinking as I was watching all of this that there were so many segments where, well, first, that they seem to be paired off. And there's one that is searching for something or looking for something. And the other person is there sort of grounding them or holding them back in a way. And then also they start an action and none of them finish it in that moment. It keeps changing from one thing to the other, which makes you sort of think, okay, are they mirroring how they're filming this to what the characters are experiencing? And are they making us feel that way? Because nothing can move forward because we're right in the middle of something and it doesn't end. And we flip to another set of characters doing something else. They're with this grounded person, but that's not really saving them. It's just someone else with them, like Randall with Julie. He stops Julie from doing it on her own, but he's still taking the risk by going into the house. Also, Henry and Tabitha, they still go there and he tries to stop her or talk her out of it, but she seems pretty set in what she's going to do until we see the boy in white. And then Boyd stabilizing, I guess, Acosta. But he's unraveling too.
One, Rachel's going to hate this episode for that reason. Everybody stops their action midway through and never continues. She's going to hate this.
If she even watched it.
Right.
If she's not watching it.
This is going to be your least favorite.
Oh, on that note, just let me enter this one thing. People have said this episode, for some reason, I really, really like this episode, but they said this was the lowest rated episode on IMDb, I think it is, than all episodes of From.
Yeah.
Oh, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Yeah. To your note, Diana, Fatima and Ellis. Ellis is trying to like bring her back down to reality. And what's interesting with Henry and Tabitha, that's a couple at one point. You know, it was Henry and Miranda.
Replacement Jim. That's something I wanted to mention too, because Replacement Jim / Henry had the same bracelet that Miranda gave him as Tabitha made for Jim. So we never kind of went back to that, just that we know that.
It's because she's Miranda. It's Miranda being with Henry again.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting. And then also Victor being with Christopher again.
Oh, right.
Because
which is Jade. Right.
Yeah.
Let me add one more thing. Speaking about things that were about to happen but got interrupted. This happens in From all the time. Tabitha was just about to say, about Miranda. She was just about to say, I saw, and then Henry's like, no, it's my wife. And she just stopped short of telling him I was / am Miranda. I felt like that's what was about to happen.
Yeah,
Do you guys? Okay, good.
Yeah,
I
think
that
so
too. Yeah.
She said, I have something to tell you.
But on a more grand sense, this one's the obvious one. For the not so obvious one, let's go to this mystery now. Because this one, again, From with their, we're going to maybe answer half-heartedly one question that you might have, but then we're going to open up a bigger one. And that is, for all Ellis trying to help Fatima out of her grief, said simply, which I feel worked. Fatima is going through a whole other angle, and I feel like she does not want to feel better with what she's doing with Elgin.
Really?
She, too, I think, feels like, one, that she's been wronged, two, that the only way out is through, meaning Elgin, for all of this, and I'm speculating now, but I feel like the fact that she is working with Elgin means I want this to have been worth something. I don't know what it is that they are doing, but that's why I'm bringing it up. Because, and again, to contrast what you were saying, Diana, about somebody's always reining the other person in. Well, Ellis is enabling Fatima, but Elgin is also enabling Fatima. One is trying to make her feel better, and one is trying to maybe make things worse. Like go down these rabbit holes about whatever this thing has planned for what's going on. I don't know.
It was very Dracula.
Is it Forever Night?
Yeah, it's Forever Night. I just thought it was so weird. I'm like, what in the vampire is happening right now? Why the special dirt that has to be inside?
Say more about that.
Dracula can't leave Transylvania or whatever, so he has to have Transylvanian dirt brought with him everywhere so that he can travel.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this reminded me of. I was like, what is happening? It's just weird. Are we going to get hands coming out of that dirt?
Oh, I hope so.
Wow. You just did a Dave what if on that one.
I did.
A Dave maybe. Oh, I see Diana's wheels turning.
I was thinking, is she an artist? Because where did I get that there's water involved in making this mud?
Diana, I thought the same thing. Okay, so she's an artist. We do know that about Fatima. I don't know for a living because I feel like she did something quite bland, but she is an artist here in this world. Is she going to make a sculpture?
Right. Yeah.
Like I thought, like, oh, is this like a pottery thing?
Right.
You know, like, was this clay that they were trying to make? Or it didn't look like clay, so I wasn't sure.
Exactly, like clay, like make something out of this. But I'm thinking, why are you bringing it inside the house, up the stairs, and putting it in this room when you could have done this outside in another building? What are you thinking, Dave?
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. That's kind of the question I want to answer. So one, just to take a little bit of a backtrack, Fatima Stevens / Hassan does not mention what she was before she came into Fromville. However, they do know, and it's something that maybe we kind of forgotten, is that Fatima was Julie's proxy And clearly she was the proxy for many at Colony House, because she kind of was like psychologist sort of to everybody in the house, kind of the mother figure. You'd think Donna probably is the mother figure or whatever. Donna's more like the angry auntie, she's the more strict one, right? She's the one you go to when you don't want something. But Fatima is the one you go to when you want something, like drugs. That's fine. Other than that, there was no indication that she was an artist. Alice is really the artist, and she is the subject of his art, basically. But to your point, I'm more on this train of what is the dirt for other than it being perhaps, and this is a stretch, so get ready, but it's a purposeful, seated in some reality answer, and that would be, okay, in Jewish myth, there is the myth of the golem. Let me bring up the exact
like Lord of the Rings.
Well, that's Gollum.
Okay.
The golem was protector of some sort of Eastern European town. I want to say that it's made up. That's fine. Let's say it's made up. But a rabbi basically brings to life a soulless creature made out of mud. And with it, the mud creature protects the town of, I'll bring it up in just a second. But there is a part of me that thinks that maybe she is one of two things, either creating a protector, which could be the obvious on the nose golem reference, but maybe in her mind, she's thinking she wants to make a baby sort of replacement. Like, they took so much from me. Maybe I'm going to make something out of this. Because I keep thinking it must be tied to something with regards to the loss of what would have been her baby.
Yeah.
She holds her stomach in the shower after she storms out. So, like, I told you, Boyd, and she's in the shower with her clothes on, if you remember. And they showed it in the recap for this episode too.
Yeah, they did.
How she did that. My first instinct, and I was just before the golem thing, that I was just saying that because you guys had gone off about statues and stuff like that. I'm like, well, what if it's this? Because there's myth all over the place. But then my first instinct really was afterbirth / placenta. It only happened a couple days ago. It's a creature birth, so it's not technically a real birth, but there's got to be stuff that's coming out after her, and maybe she wants to bury it somewhere. Why in the room? I have no idea. But again, first instinct. There's no real rhyme or reason or logic behind my thought process on that one. But it has to be something connected to that.
I like that take. Yeah. That would make sense.
I wish I liked it more, but I wish it was more of
if she's Jewish, it would make even more sense, right?
Sure. Well, I guess she could be Persian Jewish, but Hassan is typically not Jewish, Middle Eastern last name. True. But I would know.
Diana, did you think that she's maybe going to sculpt something?
Something made me think about that.
She sculpted things in the past. That's why I thought she was an artist also. I know Ellis isn't a sculptor, and I know I've heard of her sculpting things. Is this dirt from a special place?
As she sees Elgin in the distance, he's carrying the dirt in the wrong direction.
Yeah, did he already have the dirt in the cooler, you think, at that point?
He already had something or some sand in the cooler going in the other direction of Colony House.
Yeah.
So is it a dirt exchange program, or if it's one of those things where I'm just getting it wrong?
Yeah.
Well, but maybe there's something to it, and I'm trying to figure out what it could be.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't really say, but it could be just a logistics thing, and somebody filmed something weirdly or differently. I just can't make heads or tails out of it, really. Or I don't know, maybe I confused the direction she was looking, because it looks like she was looking left as they were approaching Colony House.
We need a dirt exchange program t-shirt, just so you know.
I'm working on it. And it's just Elgin looking awkwardly and waving at Fatima.
Right, anyway, because he does look like, now that you said that, I feel like I did see him walking away for some reason. But I thought maybe he's going to go get it. Or was there dirt already in what he was carrying?
It looked like there was dirt already in it.
And then how does he get it up without no one in the house seeing him carrying a bunch of dirt up the stairs or however he's getting it up there? I know that's just so sorry, crosses my mind.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Questions.
It's about time. I had that thought too. How does he not get caught? There is at least a little tell, like a show don't tell, in that as he's creeping down, he's kind of looking to his left and his right before he moves, because he sees the other people coming up to Colony House after the funeral. And so he is kind of aware of his surroundings, but then he kind of stops short when he sees Fatima, and he goes, he looks around, he looks left, he looks right, then he waves to her like, we're in cahoots, like for the audience.
Yeah.
And then it moves on, right? And she does wave or acknowledge him back before he moves on, but still. Let me just read this one thing. The golem is a legendary humanoid figure from Jewish folklore, created from clay or mud and animated through mystical rituals to serve or protect, often symbolizing both protection and the dangers of unchecked power. Okay, that's an interesting thing. Origins and historical content. The term golem appears in the Hebrew Bible once in Psalm 139:16, where it refers to an unformed substance, quote unquote, or the unfinished human being before God's eyes, symbolizing potential rather than fully realized life. That's interesting. That's really interesting. We're going to go on another biblical rant, but let's just keep going with this. Early Jewish texts include the Talmud described Adam as initially a golem, a shapeless form of dust, highlighting the concept of life emerging from inanimate matter. Ooh. Over time, the golem became a metaphor for someone unsophisticated or a being under controlled conditions, sometimes hostile if mismanaged. Mystical creation in medieval Jewish mysticism, particularly among Kabbalists, the golem was believed to be animated through sacred rituals, often involving Hebrew letters or divine names. The Sefer Yetzirah, or Book of Creation, was considered a key text for understanding how to imbue clay with life using combinations of letters representing divine creative energy. This is so hardcore. Typically, a golem was created to obey its creator's commands, but lacked independent consciousness and could become dangerous if left unchecked. Oh, this is the town. Okay, it's the Prague golem was the most famous golem, which involved the Rabbi Yehuda Lo ben Bezalel of the 16th century Prague. According to the folklore, Rabbi Lo created a golem from river clay to protect the Jewish community from persecution and blood libels. The golem was animated by placing a shem, parchment inscribed with a holy name. Shem means name in Hebrew. In its mouth, or inscribing emet, truth. Emet is the Hebrew word for truth, on its forehead. When the golem became uncontrollable, Rabbi Lo deactivated it by removing the shem or altering the inscription to met, meaning met is the word for dead. So emet is truth, met is dead. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. The golem's remains were said to be stored in the attic. Oh, that's interesting. Where are we right now? Where are we right now? We're in the attic. Sorry, I'm a little animated. Wow, this is blowing my goddamn mind. The golem's remains were said to be stored in the attic of the old new synagogue, though no physical evidence exists. But wow, I just got like a tingle. That's crazy. What is happening? It's pays to have a Jewish fella in the podcast, I guess. I'm seriously like heating up a bit. I didn't expect to go in this direction. Okay.
I'm glad it did.
All right. Dirt exchange program, fine, whatever. Yeah. Who cares? Nothing to see here, everybody.
Is from the caves where the monsters are.
So
where the babies lay to rest. Elgin's getting that exact dirt.
No, I mean it's worthy. I was just thinking, could it have just been from the funeral? How poetic would that be, right? We're laying to rest two murdered under conspiracy people, and we're using it to create life, like fertilizer. We use dead things.
Make it a little quicker for him to get.
And isn't that technically considered hallowed ground too? Because it's coming from
Forever Night.
Forever Night.
I didn't think this was going to go anywhere, really, but here we are. It's a combination of all our theories. A sculpture.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's all I had written down about the dirt.
Oh, okay. 2 factoids. Sorry, we're taking this one step further. Who does not want to know what was in the teaser?
I don't want to know.
Before you take your headphones off, I should mention that Ellis says he's going to go the next day with Donna, or I don't know. He says he's preparing to go to get a food run, right? Which we know is where now.
That place with the settlement things.
Yeah, exactly. Where the red rocks are, etc. Okay. In the teaser, we see a sort of giant Raggedy Ann.
It's giant, right?
Pulling off the top of one of the settlement houses. Do you remember how the 2 nights they stayed
in? Like the Kool-Aid Man, isn't it?
More like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. but yeah, sure, whatever.
They're coming into whatever room they're in.
He pulls off the roof of the settlement house.
Yeah, you didn't see that, Diana? I saw that in an early trailer.
It's a peek. For the season. Yeah, you get a peek of this huge Raggedy Ann or Andy. Yeah. Anyway, and she says, we're going to need a little more.
Yeah, is that what she's sculpting?
And if it's uncontrollable, and who's it going after if not our people? It would be great if it was Sophia and Yellow. That would be great. Unless Sophia went with them, then that would make sense. Because she's with Sarah, Kenny, and that whole contingent. So Sarah and Kenny go to the settlements with Ellis, right? Because Ellis seems to be going everywhere now.
Another thing I noticed at the diner, the picture that Victor drew for the family has Ethan in his yellow shirt, like we were talking about. Tabitha in a yellow dress, which I don't know if it means anything. Julie's in her little green dress. Everyone else is dressed the same, but for some reason he chose to draw Tabitha in a yellow dress.
Was Miranda wearing a yellow dress?
Yeah, I wonder. in old flashbacks?
Yeah.
Good question.
I don't think she doesn't seem like a yellow person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The van and the house are in the sky.
You mean the RV?
Yeah, and the house are in the sky with the cloud, which could just be like a children's drawing. You know, he doesn't know.
Do you mean this drawing?
Yep, exactly. Is there a reason they're in the sky? Is that another world, another dimension? Both those things collapsed.
In the flashback that Boyd sees the nightmare with Abby shooting everybody, you get a glimpse of the Pratt house. One, it's blue. Two, it's boarded up too, which tells me a lot of things. The whole thing is boarded up. The door, the windows, etc. We'll go back to that. We do see the Matthews house, which was the yellow cloud or the yellow outline on the cloud, or could be like one of those things where the sun is behind the cloud. Do you know what I mean? That sort of, anyway, to comment on what you were saying before. Yeah. So is this the sky or is this water?
Yeah, true.
Could it
water.
be water?
Is it outside the dome that they're enclosed in?
It's the Lake of Tears, maybe.
I don't know. Right.
Mm-hmm. They took the RV to the Lake of Tears. The flowers near Jim's feet, presuming those flippers are Jim's feet. Obviously, Ethan has his walking stick that he had when he first met Victor because his knee was or his leg was messed up from the RV.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with the popcorn kernel in the middle there?
I thought it was a cloud with the sun behind it. So there's a little sun outline maybe behind it.
Oh, yeah, I know. I thought it was a cloud too, but yeah, who knows?
Let me give you the play-by-play. Victor gives this to Ethan. Ethan holds it up. Sophia's looking intently at this whole exchange. Ethan kind of puts it down. Tabitha pulls it up, and that's the vantage point you're getting when you see this finally, which means Sophia can see this from her vantage point as well. She's very interested in Victor's discoveries or Victor's goings on, even though he doesn't recognize her, obviously, because it's not the thing that made him piss his pants. And that's why he can't come as he was with all they know, probably. The man in yellow walking to the town the way he was would shake Victor into remembering something that he would tell the town about him. So on the note of Sophia, I was wondering if you guys had any thoughts about the tooth she pulled from the pastor.
Oh, yeah. It's a keepsake, but is it to remember?
Trophy? Serial killers take their trophies from their victims.
The reason why I pointed it to you, Diana, was you said something really cool in the last episode, which was the things that the people leave behind.
Mm-hmm.
The way I took it was it means that they're kind of still with us.
Right. Yes.
And I kind of took it a little further in my own usual fashion. I think it was Jason said that the things he keeps are a means for him to be able to transform into them later.
Yeah.
Which could be the glasses as well, having picked them up. The tooth is a very deliberate left turn. If it is the case that he can change just basically having a keepsake, the tooth is a bit of a left turn because it's like, well, one, okay, I can see why he would do that because it would be unrecognizable. However, if they dig up the pastor and see a missing tooth, well, that would connect it. But why would they? That's not their style. Unless hands are grabbing people from the earth. Oh my God, let's dig them all up. Just kidding. Anyway, it is a bit of a left turn because it's not the usual, oh, it's glasses from somebody who died here or Jim's bracelet or something to that effect. And especially this guy. Okay, you think of people in general. And if everybody in this town who's come in has been generally a good person, what is a pastor if not maybe the best person? So why the violation? Why is it so deliberate? I don't know what this is telling us is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Beyond the hint that, oh, maybe he could use this to transform or something to that effect.
It's not someone taking something, but when we're talking about teeth, didn't Fatima take out her tooth at one point before she...
I was trying to think of, because I remembered something about that. Or like somebody maybe had a thing of baby teeth. Didn't we see that in the Lost and Found?
Maybe. I know when they were doing the autopsy on Smiley, his possessions that they had on the table, there was one tooth.
Yeah.
He did have that, if that ties into this at all. And I got that from somebody else. I don't think that I'm smart. I've seen people online talk about that.
No, you're smart.
With the pictures.
You brought it up now.
Yeah, there was something else, and then he also had
nothing
one
to do.
tooth.
It's a cool pull. I wish we could give it attribution, but still, thank you for sharing that. And then, yes, Fatima pulling her own tooth because she herself was malnutrition is really the thing that it was.
Mm-hmm.
What irony, too.
Why would they show her pulling her tooth, of all things?
Of all things, correct. Right. And what if they find that tooth? Well, you could turn into Fatima.
Dave, this is an Old Testament biblical reference, but an eye for an eye, a hand for a hand, a foot for a foot, a tooth for a tooth. It's from Exodus.
I'll say the real thing. The language in the Old Testament is written as such that it's not really an eye for an eye. It's an eye to replace an eye, meaning the actual literal translation is ayin tachat ayin, meaning ayin under an eye or an ayin in place of an eye, meaning to offer restitution for that And so what is that if not Elgin offering restitution for what he did? Let's go through the eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and I don't know if there's a foot for a foot. I think it's just eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, right?
Hand for hand, foot for foot.
Oh, okay. Let's go through it then. Eye for an eye is Elgin and Fatima. Tooth for a tooth is what the pastor and Sophia. Hand for a hand, you've got Boyd having his hand grabbed at the gravesite. The foot, where is their foot? Well, it's a stretch. The camera focusing on Victor's foot as he pees himself. It's a loose one, man. That's all I got. But it was very poignant.
It goes on to say, burn for a burn, wound for a wound, bruise for a bruise.
Oh, okay. Speaking of the Bible, we're going to go to this one reference. And Bridget's going to be happy with this one, probably, I hope. After the incident with Julie in the diner, Kenny says, we have to talk. And first of all, I love the conversation because it mirrors a conversation that Boyd had with Christy and Donna about, hey, we need you to not unravel because the town needs you to stay together. Something he says later on to Abby. He's like, I don't know if I can keep these people need to stay together. Kenny says, and this is something that has been reiterated on the show, these people are one bad day away from offing themselves, essentially, from giving up. He says it to Sophia. In the scene, she immediately launches into a Bible verse, a specific instance that is actually quite interesting.
Achan.
Yeah.
That is correct. Some more Old Testament stuff. I'm going to bring up Torah.org for this one. Now, she brings us up to say that the Matthews essentially are like Achan. Now, let me tell you why. Joshua, Yehoshua, led the Jewish people after Moses. He led the Jewish people in their miraculous conquest of the land of Israel. One of the most sublime moments of victory was when the walls of Jericho crumbled to the ground. And we talked about this in The Walking Dead season 11. Funny. The walls of Jericho crumbled to the ground after the people encircled them for 7 days. In expression of this awe and wonder at God's greatness, Joshua composed the first paragraph of the Aleinu prayer. We say this prayer at the end of Sabbath services. At first, Joshua's war against the nations who dwelled in the land, there were no casualties among the Jewish people. However, later during the war against the city of Hai, which is I in the Christian telling of it, but Hai, the Jewish people suffered heavy losses. Afraid that this could cause a desecration of God's name, Joshua prayed for insight into the reason for this unexpected setback. God revealed to Joshua a number of reasons for these deaths. Among them, that one member of the Jewish people had violated the ban against taking spoils from battle at Jericho, because it was such a miracle that they survived to begin with. When Joshua asked God who the guilty party was, God refused to divulge this information on the grounds that this was, the term is Lashon Hara, which means evil speak. It would be bad to speak about them. He advised Joshua to draw lots and find out for himself. So find out inadvertently. I don't want to name him, but if you find out inadvertently and don't point it out, that will be okay. Joshua had the Jewish people draw lots, and eventually it became clear that Achan, or Achan, was the perpetrator of this offense. At first, Achan denied his guilt, but when he saw that his defiance was causing violence among the Jewish people, he confessed. This is going to tie in so nicely. By transgressing God's direct command that Jericho not be plundered, and by causing the deaths of his fellow Jews, because his greedy act caused the destruction of his fellow people. His selfish greed had a punishment to the collective. Achan committed a capital offense, and he was sentenced to death. Before willingly accepting his sentence, Achan confessed all of his transgressions and attained complete repentance. He expressed his newfound sense of closeness to God by composing the second paragraph of the Aleinu prayer. This is the prayer that we mentioned earlier. He himself, because of his repentance, created the second paragraph of that prayer. An eloquent expression of God's all-encompassing greatness. His authorship is hinted to in the first three words, Al Ken Nikaveh. It has the acronyms of his name. Al, A, Ken, A-Ken, Nikaveh. A-Ken. Al Ken Nikaveh. A-K-N. Achan. The Aleinu prayer was thus composed by great sages at times. I'm trying to translate, by the way. It's what I'm reading. By great sages at times when they were elevated by great love and awe of God. Through a deeper understanding of the commandments and customs of this prayer, we too can access these feelings when reading this specific prayer. So how does this tie to the Matthews? I think this does tie to what Victor's experiencing right now. I made myself forget. I told myself that it wasn't real. Why would everybody tear themselves apart? This whole town is under tremendous stress. Monsters come out at night. Mysterious things are happening. People's hands are coming out of graves and pulling people into the dirt. Things like that are happening in more succession. We're learning new things or seeing new things other than the usual monsters, transfigurations. And so let's look at Acosta. Selfish in the sense of she took the ambulance, and I think she's tortured. I do have sympathy for her. Selfish in the sense that she wants to take her life and to leave everybody else to their own devices. Now, obviously, it's not like Aiken who plundered the spoils of war, but there is a tinge of that. Why wouldn't it be one person's selfish act that might be the downfall of Fromville or these residents? So there is some connective tissue here.
The monsters sacrifice their children.
To do what?
Basically live forever, right? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, I think that's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, because you had just mentioned acts that you do that affect everyone
The
else,
right.
Yeah, the collective.
That hits the nail on the head. And it would make sense that the quote unquote Sophia, man in yellow, would say that, because then that would kind of flirt with the idea of, oh, I know what happened, why this place is the way it is, because I wrote it.
Yeah.
You got to give the man in yellow some credit, is that he's tipping his hand in a sense. If he is the author slash narrator slash writer, and Ethan is as well. So you have these two polar opposites who can do the same thing in this town, who can manifest these things, or at least has an awareness of the things, of the story as it was written, let's say. It makes me think that Ethan does have the power to change things. We had asked that question, who is capable of breaking the cycle? He's not one of the names I actually brought up, but now I'm starting to think that maybe.
The man in yellow, I mean, how much power does he have? Does he only want to influence? It's like he enjoys, or...
He does, yeah, this is his favorite part.
Yes, exactly. But like, how much can he actually do and is not doing it because he wants to see them suffer?
That's kind of what I was thinking as well, is the things that he does do is probably more in service of the town's rules than it is about him trying to influence the narrative. I say that only because the 47 head count, one goes in, somebody has to leave, aka be dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And if he's kind of taking the place of one of the 47, taking that spot so nobody else can come in, he has to kill the pastor. I don't know if that's the case, but I can tell you, I did have a head count of the people that were at the funeral. It was 44. Do you want to know who the other 3 are?
So who's left out?
Well, Jade.
Right? I'll give you one. Acosta.
Elgin.
That's right.
He was collecting dirt.
That's 47.
Exchanging dirt.
Right, exchanging dirt. See, he'd already gotten the dirt before everybody came in, and then he went to...
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So...
Well, we don't have enough to bury them now.
That's the number.
Anyway, sorry. So, in case you were wondering. So there are 40... No. Well, and Sophia is the 47th person.
Yeah, she would have to count now.
Right, she would have to count. Somebody had mentioned this, and I think this might have been Bridget. I can't remember who said this, but unless there's a hang time between the time where somebody has to come in again to replace that 47th person. And that would be a tell. If Kenny is right, what Victor did in the first season, I think it was, because when the Matthews came in, Victor was digging graves. Like, okay, I guess we're going to have to let go of some people, and it's going to happen tonight or something. Anyway, if somebody comes in within the next day, it'll tip the hand of the people in the town. Oh, there's 48 people, so now somebody's going to have to go. Wait, why is nobody dying? Oh, wait, one of the people isn't a people. So I don't think they're going to be that sharp, personally speaking. But if they do somehow figure that out, it would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, that would be. I still think Sarah will figure out Sophia's something's up, and especially now that they're living together. Yeah,
I can't imagine the man in yellow not making a subtle joke about, oh, how's your arm? Like that, like something dumb. Like, I just can't help myself. I'm an evil person. I can't see him not screwing this up somehow, living with the very person maybe that he tortured. On the note of that, well, first of all, I find that whole choice interesting that he still wants to, yeah, sure, why not? He wants to stick around Sarah, that there's something about,
right, yeah,
she's my favorite person that I tortured, let's say.
And he's like, what the heck are you talking about? Why do you want to be here?
She definitely didn't want to go to Colony House. There's too many people.
Right.
She seems sincere about that. She really didn't want to go there.
Because she'll screw it up. She'll just mess it up somehow. Yeah. Go with the shut-in. Go with the person that nobody wants to be with. It makes sense on a logistical level. I hate this a lot, but part of me thinks that maybe the man in yellow has been the ghosts in this town. If you think about it, if he's taking teeth or whatever from dead bodies or maybe mementos and assuming the role of Tom, of Father Kotchery, because even though they say the things, because remember 2 things about the man in yellow. He is omniscient. Then he knows things about Tom. He knows what Tom doesn't even say out loud, let's say, or Kotchery says out loud. It's not him, because when we were remarking on Father Kotchery, because he's the one we see the most, it felt like it wasn't really Father Kotchery. It felt more like the devil on your shoulder situation. You can be both things at the same time. So is it possible? I don't know. I say this only because he takes the tooth. Does that mean we're going to see him later? It's like a Chekhov's gun. It's Chekhov's tooth. We're going to have to see this pay off. Why do it otherwise? Unless you're just indicating a malevolentness to the man in yellow, but feels like there's more to this. He has an obsession with people's things or keepsakes. I'm going to leave it there. Something to make note of. I've been Fatry the whole time.
I could get behind that if
I saw your face.
Anyone had connected with this guy at all.
Other than Jade?
The pastor is of no consequence to anyone.
True.
No one knows him.
Wait, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
And yet they went to his funeral. So wouldn't they be all like freaked out?
Because
all
it was
the townspeople?
Jim's funeral. It had nothing to do with him.
It's the whole seeing it. He happened to be there, but why is he now alive? Or, I don't know, you buried me, but I wasn't dead. Damn you, Matthews. Or whoever it was.
When they were wrapping him up, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah, or like Marielle and Christy, right? So yeah, a handful of people at the very least saw his face. Whoever was in the clinic, whoever wrapped him up, Kenny, etc., etc., etc. But maybe people saw his face briefly at the funeral.
Now, if everyone died that had seen his face, he could then come back as a quote unquote new person and no one would know.
Whom, the pastor?
Yeah.
But so many people have seen his face, his actual face.
How?
Outside of the funeral, there's Christy, Marielle, Kenny, Boyd when they took him out of the front seat, right? Because it was a crash.
Yeah, taking him out of the car.
Oh, and they were all there for the crash too? Or most of the people were there for the crash too? People come down from Colony House?
No, there weren't a lot of people because remember, the people at Colony House hadn't even heard about it.
Well, but then they shared that information. So maybe not everybody saw him, but a lot of people did.
I would argue a handful.
I'd say half, right? We can go split the difference on that one.
No. 10 max.
I would say 20. No? All right. Because there were a lot of people out in the street as Boyd
but they all told them to step away. They didn't want them over there because they're trying to get it done and you can't have a bunch of people. It's like a Sims situation. Then if you've got everyone with their hands in it, everyone's standing around going, "Aah!" instead of like dealing with the actual
like when there's
emergency.
a fire?
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about old references. Forever Night in Sims.
I don't know. I've got a lot of old references. Beastmaster. I don't know what's going on. Beauty and the Beast. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. I had mentioned that I thought that the Matthews family did not know about the Brundles. I believe at some point I'd mentioned I don't think that everyone knows about the Brundles. And this was proof that not everyone knows about the Brundles unless specifically told.
Right. Or clued in.
Isn't that crazy? Ethan's lived there for how long? And there's still all these undiscovered areas.
These little secrets that people have.
Yeah, I know.
Alice and Fatima sort of brought it up this episode. Like, remember when Julie was living with us? We had made the bed in our room for her.
I forgot about that.
And then the Brundles was the place that they took Julie to kind of.
So Julie knew about the Brundles, but Ethan had never heard about the Brundles.
Information sharing.
Which means Tabitha maybe doesn't know about the Brundles.
True.
Remember the first episode we talked about maybe there was more communication this season? No, there's not. Because again, all of a sudden I was like, why won't you just talk to each other? Just talk to each other.
I just said that there was more communication at the very least. People are not afraid of thinking that they're crazy. They're not afraid of that part of it because now they're unraveling.
It's almost like you need like an information board up somewhere in town that people should be checking daily.
I had this thought because we'd all mentioned everybody seems to be pairing up, right, Diana?
Yeah.
People are finding partners to do their little hijinks with, whether they like it or not. So as Julie is taking the flashlight and the rope from the shed, something that Boyd had mentioned, we have sheds all over town that have clothes and all these things, tools. This is a place that has nothing in particularly useful, right? The Colony House basement. But I was just thinking, as she was leaving the shed and Randall bumps into her, I was thinking to myself, man, what if we all just did everything together? Hold on. Because they did try to do that, if you remember, in season 2, if I'm not mistaken. They brought everybody to the diner. They made a big announcement about something, and it had to do with somebody saying something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but Tabitha was trying to bring up something with respect to... This was just after the radio incident and the tower fell and all that stuff, and it turned out to be a big nothing burger.
Oh.
The man in yellow probably on the speaker was like, you shouldn't have dug that hole, Jim. And the house collapses and all that stuff. So this is just off the heels of that. Nobody wanted to listen to her, thereby reinforcing the fact that people will still think you're crazy. People want to still live in this delusional land. So this was supposed to signal to you that, there's a reason why people don't want to information share. Because yes, maybe to, again, Kenny's point, they're one bad day away from giving up altogether. And so these little delusions, these little wanting to get along to get on is a cope, essentially. So we have to balance cope with everything else. One thing that actually got me a little bit emotional is something that I said last week is that Acosta feels like a young Abby. And they said it in this episode a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so Acosta repeats what Chrissy said. The people who try to leave end up dead. And she asks Boyd for a bullet. And I noted reverse Abby because Abby was giving people bullets, right? You know, against their will. Right. Abby requested one for herself. There's a little bit of reverse yin yang ishness to it. But then later on, they further affirm this kind of weird tacit connection in what Boyd says to her. When he hears this, I thought it was very alarming. I saw it in his face. I was alarmed by it too. Oh, remember when Ellis was pleading with me to stick around to help Abby through a sort of crisis that she was unraveling? Things were starting to fall apart with her particularly. And because he wasn't around, because he was too bent on trying to solve this place or figure out a way to cope or survive or thrive, it led to Abby starting to kill people and then forced him to have to kill her. Remember the whole reason why you and Ellis stopped talking was because you didn't listen to him? Remember when Fatima said a couple episodes ago, I told you, and you didn't listen. This is things that are coming up right now that when he hears Acosta say this, he listens. It's really interesting
he does.
To see how he deals with this. Well, I'm assuming this is the case, but I think Abby was a cop as well, which is why like you remind me of somebody. No, Abby's not a cop.
She was also military. It's so funny because I thought the same thing while I was watching it. Oh, was she a cop too? Wait, no, Boyd's not a cop.
Oh, she was a Marine.
Yeah, he's a sheriff in this, but it was only because he had military experience. That's the only reason.
I think he might be Marine as well. Oh, it's saying, well, occupation for him is saying sheriff and de facto mayor of the town.
He's some kind of
armed forces, yeah.
Because she gets him the boat as his retirement gift for leaving service.
Right. Boat, Lake of Tears. What?
That's why he's got the...
Yeah, exactly.
The
Boyd keychain.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's some sort of armed force. He was in Iraq, and Brian Kelly, the two kids who died in Fromville, reminded him of that incident. Right. Yeah. Anyway, she was a Marine. Okay, fine. And seeing Acosta... Well, I mean, in the way she draws her gun all the time that isn't even loaded kind of reminds him of her.
Yeah, it's funny. The gun was in her bed in the cell.
Yeah.
They left it there for her, but it's not
What's
loaded.
she going to do with it?
Yeah.
She just needs a bullet. Anyway, but I like that he's listening now. He's paying attention now. His hackles are up right now. Unlike the time that Abby really needed his help. True to form, he visits her grave in response to this too.
That's the thing with this, Dave, this cyclical...
Cycles,
system that they have for this town. Every time you go through it, though, you're going to pick up a little bit more. You're going to change how you do it a little bit to see if you can win this time. I don't know how many times that this has happened. I don't know how many times they've gone through this cycle over and over and over again. But we have to guess that if Jade can remember, they're going to garner a little bit more this time. Maybe that tips the scales for them. I think the evil side of this town is kind of like, no one ever remembers. This cycle just goes over and over and it plays out exactly how I want it to, exactly the way I like it. I don't know that that's going to happen this time. Obviously, that's why we're being shown the town in this show. Otherwise,
well, that's why the outside world is a delusion. And this is the real world where they just keep coming back.
Dave, you're wrong. Abby was right. And if you kill people, they awake in the real world.
Yeah.
I really like the idea he gave to Acosta, though, to go on that track again. It was creative. Let's use your talents to... Just like I was using my talents about this town, just like everybody else is trying to use their talents for this town. Maybe you can see something that, see, it's like kind of like he was doing it wrong with her is kind of what I'm saying. He kept seeing himself maybe in her and when maybe he should really be seeing her for her. Because we'd said he's being hard on her for what? Doing the same thing he would have done? But now he's kind of channeling that now that she said some few key words to remind him of Abby. There's a sweetness to it. And I got a little bit emotional too over it.
Nice. Could talk about the very end, the grave scene. Do you think it was weird that the arm came out from the bottom of the grave? It seemed like it came out where the feet would be, but could have just been a production thing.
This is how it happened. You have to keep in mind two things. One, as he sits down in front of the grave, he scooches in closer to the headstone. So conceivably, it would be in the right spot.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
However, maybe to your point, maybe not. One hand does come up, but then you do see two hands.
And I didn't notice in the second hand until the second watch. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see a second hand.
When his arm is like in the hole already, you can see the other arm is grasping his arm or the other hand.
3 specific sequences. The initial in the background blurry. The first one grabs him. It cuts away the second time. You see the both hands. And then there's a third one as it lets go, obviously. But then you kind of sort of see it in the second one moreover. The only thing I can chalk it up to for now, lest Bridget chastise me, is the town is escalating its tactics to put more pressure on it to, I will say, get to the point where that one person, the Aiken of the group, does the one thing that unravels the whole town, does the one sin that everybody else has to pay for. Shape-shifting monsters, hands coming out of the ground. Oh, well, okay, if we're going to assume one more thing. Oh, the man in yellow taking all the talismans. Why not? Let's add more things. Oh, no, we just said it in this episode. Duh, the golem. 3 out of this world, we're jumping the shark type of terrors. Bridget's making faces right now. But we're adding more dumb things that weren't there before.
See, and this is what happens. This is so over the top, Dave, and so dumb. And then he'll be right. That's how that goes. I feel like
I might be on this one. And I don't want to be right. It feels like too much. I see why Rachel has jumped off.
Yeah. He did have a dream of Abby in the beginning of the episode. Maybe this is just in his head. I know somebody online had said that he has early Parkinson's. In Parkinson's, you can have not visions, have hallucinations. But like hallucinations.
Yeah.
It could just be that too. It might not have actually really happened.
I learned that from shrinking.
I would say it not really occurring is that all of a sudden when he jumps up, it's completely gone. So did it really happen?
No hole.
Yeah. He's freaking out. Did this really happen or did it not happen?
Well, but this whole town plays games.
Yeah.
Nobody else could see the cicadas or whatever. And there was other stuff happening that you can see it right in front of you. The kimono wearing lady. I don't know that anybody else could see her. The camera was needed to see some of those things. You just never know what's real and what's not with this town.
One specific thing, like you said, the kimono wearing lady, Elgin was seeing her in front of his face. Meanwhile, Clara comes into view. She completely does not acknowledge the kimono wearing lady in Elgin's view at the same time. Tilly was there.
That one turned out to be true though, because Boyd and Kenny saw her in the underground.
Right, where she was material.
Yeah, but do these things allow themselves to be seen when they want? Her plan wouldn't have worked had other people seen what Elgin was seeing, because maybe they would have talked him out of it, because they've lived through all of this. They were there when that dude thought he was dating one of the monsters like an idiot and let her in. What a moron.
Right.
They saw that. Chrissy ends up saying is like, no, this place will lie to you. They've seen Sarah accidentally cut her own brother's throat open because the place was telling her to kill Ethan. None of that stuff made sense, but they believe it wholeheartedly because they have nothing to compare it to and they think they're going kind of crazy, so you don't want to tell anybody else what you're seeing. But if you can all information share, the less likely that this is to happen. Just put up an information board.
Hold up. Okay. But to answer your question, Bridget, would it be a good thing for Boyd to tell people that a hand grabbed him from beyond the grave at his wife's gravestone?
Here's the craziest thing about this whole thing.
Go for it.
For some reason, when it comes to Boyd, whenever he admits something to someone, they're like, whoa, buddy.
Well, hold on a second.
You've gone too far. What do you mean? This town has monsters that literally come out at night and kill you.
Julie just said it this episode to Randall. I didn't believe in monsters, but there they are.
You guys are seeing this stuff every day. There's a mysterious town where you hear footsteps at night, but nothing comes in. You have no idea what's going on out there. But magically, it provides you all the food that you have. Nothing makes any sense. But as soon as Boyd is like, hey, this happened, they're like, no, that's too far.
Exactly. The whole diner thing with Tabitha, I just mentioned, is a cope. It was like,
so I feel like if he did say something, they'd be like, whoa, buddy. Your Parkinson's is really taking over here.
And isn't that the point? Because you want them to start doing it. Well, and let's be really fair. The town in its own way, I'm not saying the town's people, but the town, Fromville, has a way of making it so that when a possibility of information sharing usually is attempted, it reaches a point at which the audience or the townspeople aren't really receptive to it. Maybe it was always going to end up that way, like the story walking, or a set of circumstances happens to the point where they won't.
You're right.
But that's authentic. There is always something that gets you to understand, oh, it's not as simple as, oh, you didn't see the effing werewolf? Oh, if only they just got together and just started talking to each other. No, but they're already being terrified.
Wasn't it the old house too, where Tabitha and Jim were writing all those things on the wall?
Which you got to see in this episode.
Yeah, you did get to see it in the rubble. Yeah.
Torn down. So yeah, I guess if you did create an information board, it would probably fall into the ground.
True. And what does the boy in white say in this very episode to Tabitha?
Time is running out.
You're so close. Before Victor! And they have to kind of turn their head.
Well, yeah, time is running out, I think, is what he says.
Yeah, time is running out.
Also, right after that, yes, correct.
Doesn't he say, I think? Like he's unsure how this time will play out.
I don't know.
Something about the way he said it made me think he was unsure about the way it was playing out.
I think the thing he was unsure about her going through the lighthouse. Where she
maybe.
would end up.
Maybe that was what it was.
This is Tabitha. Why are you here? Why do you look so different? I'm writing these notes for myself. It's 2022 in the show. It's 2026 today, which is why it's weird. Those are the wrong questions. She asks, will that tree take me back to the lighthouse? And he goes, this is what you're referring to. I don't think so, is what he says. Which, fair. You told me it was the only way. It was, but that was before. You're getting so close now, but I'm afraid you're running out of time.
Oh, I'm afraid you're running out of time. Made me think maybe he wasn't sure. Because that's not like you're for sure running out of time or you're running out of time. Now, it could just be the colloquial, I'm sorry to say you're running out of time. It could be that.
Forgive me.
Yeah,
right.
But I don't know if that meant, hey, I'm unsure if you're running out of time.
Yeah,
I don't know how this is going to play out. If you're a story walker, you wouldn't know the things that change. Let's say you inform a character of something and that changes the way that they participate in an activity. You don't know how that plays out until it plays out.
Right. Well, like story walking. Right. I haven't gone to that point in time that tells me that this is what happened.
Exactly.
But maybe he's seen after effects, but he doesn't really know. It's like, I haven't seen a body. That sort of mentality. I sort of know what happens, but I don't know exactly what happens.
I don't know when time travel's the worst thing to discuss in a TV show. So
how deliberately worded too.
Victor tells Ethan, I don't like water.
Oh, he says the water is creepy.
The water.
Yeah, he did say that about the Brundles.
I don't know that he said that he didn't like water. Now, he could have because they're searching for water. So maybe. But I know in particular, he said, I don't want to take you there. And Ethan's pushing. He's like, I don't like it there. The water is creepy. I was like, yeah, it is. Because something about that place is really ominous. Looking at it gives me
kind of dirty,
uneasy feeling.
Or muddy.
Well, remember when they were all having like a rec day, having a great old time, jumping in, and people have floaties and everything. It looks like
that's when Jason comes in and
theoretically it looks like it would be
Yeah.
fun, but the water is really murky and dark, and you can't see the bottom. And I know it's all intentional, but the way that it's framed makes it feel off.
Creepy.
Yeah, creepy. The water is creepy. On TikTok, every once in a while, I'm served from information. Not often.
Right. From formation?
Yeah, I try not to interact with it because I don't want to be given spoilers when I haven't been able to watch the episode yet. For instance, I watched this episode last night, not on Sunday night. And so I was kind of trying to stay away from it. However, I believe today I was given a TikTok and it was something about maybe one of the show runners or creators had said that the key to the Lake of Tears was in this scene. And it showed a very inconsequential scene, in my opinion, of Boyd just walking through town. But a lot of the theories were that the motor,
the pool in the background,
yes, was something to do with the Lake of Tears.
Well, and it would make sense if Dale is Donna's F toy. I remembered his name now, who ends up magically merged into the pool. And it was Donna's Tears, which was the lake, how it was being created.
I just thought I'd mention it. I saw it. I was like, that doesn't really make any sense to me. But I was like, who is this narrator that's providing me with this information to say like this clip in particular of absolutely nothing has to do with the show being solved? I don't even think you could see the pool. I just know you can see the sign
for the motel.
The motel no vacancy thing is up.
The only thing I really have left is we're both looking for something that can help everyone. Every time Jade actually works with Ethan, he seems to solve something, but there's something that blocks him from wanting to, it's an effing kid, you know? But then here we are again, Ethan.
Yeah, I thought that was like the dream team right there. Jade, Ethan, and Victor. Yeah.
We need to make t-shirts. the Lake of Tears team. There was one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, right. Where Ellis takes Fatima, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this car graveyard.
We've seen it before.
This is where he opens the trunk of one of the cars and he finds something. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think that's where Victor also buried the bodies of the residents in the town who died from that calamity.
Yes, correct.
So I found that very interesting, is that Fatima's beating up all these cars, but it's really the remains of the people are kind of, I think, underneath the cars. They needed a place to put the cars, but they also needed a place to bury the people.
So I don't know that it's all the cars. I think Victor put bodies in the trunks of vehicles. And I think it was just because he's a little kid. How is he supposed to bury all those bodies? He can't do it.
Yeah.
And the only reason he can even lift up what he's lifting is because they're so eviscerated. I'm sure he's just lifting up chunks of people.
That was his exasperation too. What am I supposed to do with them?
Because in that he's looking for his sister and he does not find Eloise when he is cleaning up the town.
what remained of her, maybe, quote unquote. Oh, okay. In the From series, the car graveyard is a large clearing in the forest where Victor has removed the cars of people who died in the township massacre. After the creatures killed everyone except for Victor, he relocated the vehicle so he wouldn't have to look at them. That's one thing. That's from from.fandom.com.
How did this kid know how to throw cars into neutral?
You just to figure it out.
Or how did he figure out how to drive them? Were any of them still working? I'm baffled by some of this.
The graveyard contains many old decaying cars, some from before his arrival, others from the night of the massacre. When Tabitha Matthews visits Victor, he leads her to the graveyard and opens the trunk of his mother's car. It's the drawings which helped him remember Eloise. Okay. Inside he finds personal drawings, a moment that triggers a flashback to his final encounter with his mother as he sorts through them, causing him to panic. This scene is significant because it ties into the larger mystery of the symbol, the crash, the events that led to the massacre. The car graveyard also appears in other moments, such as Victor meets Jade Herrera. There he points out, this is where your memory of the violin comes in. There he points out Christopher's car and a faded red station wagon, and reveals that Christopher was once friendly but changed after seeing the symbol that Jade kept seeing, eventually leading to the deaths of everyone in the township. The graveyard thus serves as both physical and emotional repository of the past, I love this, holding the memories and artifacts of those Victor has lost. In fan discussions, well, fine, whatever. The sheer number of cars in the graveyard has led to speculation that Victor was not truly alone for the entire time, going to your point about pushing the vehicles. Possibly multiple people came through and died before him, or that some cars held more than one person. The graveyard's role is a place of memory, trauma, and hidden truths make it a key location of Victor's story. They have to be a graveyard of sorts, too. Literal graveyard, not just a car graveyard. I swore
there was a mention of bodies, but maybe
I think we made an assumption that they were in the trunk.
Maybe it's just because he said I couldn't look at them anymore, and we thought, oh, the bodies.
And there was also the innocence of it all. I can't bear to look at these and remember these people.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said in this episode, too. Maybe it was a deliberate, purposeful way of knowledge comes at a cost. And if I don't know or don't remember, quote unquote, the monsters can't sniff me out, but it makes me survive in this town. It doesn't mean you leave, but it also means that you're not unsafe because of it. I wanted to bring this up as well, just as a side note. We talk about Julian's story walking and what happened was always supposed to happen. But what if the thing that makes things change is the purposeful not remembering of something, so that when you look at pictures later on and try to remember, you remember at the exact moment that it's actually relevant for you to remember? Because you see Victor have these revelations and it unlocks certain things in the narrative that are very important at that point in time. Even him going, hey, Jade, help us find the Lake of Tears. I thought that was an odd thing for him to say just out of just pocket like that.
I think he wanted an adult
for being so antisocial.
Because he's worried about what Ethan's going to do.
That, yeah.
And he's trying to talk Ethan out of it, but Ethan is slick because Victor's like, friends don't keep secrets, Ethan, you know that. And he's like, fine, I'll tell you if you take me. He's super sly. He would like an adult there to know that he's safe because Jade will shut it down and he knows that. So I think that's probably got something to do with it.
Even though sometimes I feel like that's not the case. Yeah. Jade will just, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I like how the confluence of all these things coming together. Just like I said, when Victor remembers something, it's at the right moment, when he needs it, when he couldn't remember it before, and when everybody else sort of needs it as well. And so that goes to, hey, I'll take you to the Brundles, the only body of water I know. We see Jade. Jade helps them find the man in yellow clothes and the psilocybin, the things that he needs. He's giving Jade information that he doesn't know he needs already, which is, hey, Ethan could maybe make things manifest. Or maybe Ethan knows this place like Tabitha better than they think they do. Oh, and then there's the story walking, which I don't know that Jade knows about, by the way. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, true. I don't think he knows.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages.
We just thought we'd remind you to show this episode some love by tapping that like button, if there's one to be tapped, subscribing to our podcast or channel, and if available, enabling all notifications, and sharing the show, or clips of it, with everyone you know. And don't be afraid to reach out. Leave your questions, feedback, ideas, or even concerns in the comment section. There isn't one? Head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead and leave your thoughts there. Rating our podcast is the best way to get our attention because it also boosts our visibility. And we'll probably address it in the next episode too. And if you think there's something to what we're doing here at Squawking Dead, tip us over on Ko-fi. As a token of our appreciation, you'll receive forever access to our Discord, along with 30 days access to our uncut episode and interview recordings, plus our pre-squawk insights. Take your support further. Join a membership tier on either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead, and you'll unlock access to more channels on our Discord server, receive shoutouts at the end of every episode, and depending on what tier you join, the ability to join us on camera and mic to break down future episodes alongside us. Thank you for hearing us out and making it this far into the episode. We now return you to our regularly scheduled podcast. I think things are accelerating. I think that we've said everything that we meant to say, right? I'll leave off with this. It could be just the Job thing. I'm changing, Boyd says in this episode. We talked about all the different phases of Boyd throughout the years as he visits Abby's grave. Things seem to be normal here. Things seem to be okay here. We've made it stable. Your sacrifice wasn't for nothing. The second time he's at Abby's grave, it's about things are escalating. Things are starting to get worse. And now here, the third time, it's I'm changing. I'm the thing that's getting worse. If that's a reflection of the town, we're in store for a lot of more weird, wacky, rule-breaking things. This is why people, I think, start to peel off the show, is that if they can just do anything at any time, to what are you tethered that keeps you hanging on? You start to unravel. You start to be the 47th person in the town, wondering, when is your ticket punch? You're one bad episode away of giving up entirely on the show. So with that, I say, don't give up on us. Thank you for being here. I've been your host, David Cameo, and I was joined by
Bridget and a baby. You can find me at youtube.com/@punkybrewster. It's PUNKYBRUISETER. Although I don't really do anything over there anymore, but maybe one day.
Jason, I'm at Neo's the One.
I'm Diana, Screens in Focus. You can find me at screensinfocus.com.
Sure can, and I highly encourage it. Folks, I think we came across some really interesting tidbits that I really enjoyed, and I can't wait for more from at this point, because like I said, third episodes are the best episodes when it comes to From. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Hopefully we'll get Diana in here real soon, Jason, and Bridget especially. We miss Bridget. We love her. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for making it to the end of yet another episode of Squawking Dead. This one, the third episode of From's fourth season, titled Merrily We Go. Yet again, I apologize for the lateness of these releases. We're doing our best to keep up with the workload, but as you may or may not know, we all have full-time jobs. This is something that we do after hours, oftentimes too late, as we just finished recording the fourth episode of From's fourth season, titled Of Myths and Monsters, and you can pick that up on our Ko-fi or Patreon if you join a membership, or simply tip us on Ko-fi and you'll have access to our pre-squawk insights and our unedited episode recordings. It's a great way to get an early listen/watch on time rather than wait over a week for these episodes to come out polished and edited. You can help in that respect by supporting us, by either tipping us or joining a membership, or sharing and or commenting on clips, doing whatever you can to keep our visibility up. And speaking of supporting the podcast, you've reached a portion of this podcast at the end where we shout out our supporters. It's a little perk that they receive among so many perks. Among the Whisperers, our mid-tier, we have Jason, who was with us during this podcast, who you could reach on Instagram via @Neos the One. That's @NEOS, the number one HEONE. Rob Lucchese, who has been with us during our first watch reaction and breakdown of The Boys, Fallout, and It Welcome to Derry. You can reach him on TikTok via @RobStuffAndThangs. That's @RobsStuff_N as in Nancy _Thangs, THANGS. And of course, Kim.Rowley, the number one on Facebook. Let us know what you think. Comment where there is a comment section. Rate us if there's a place to rate the podcast. Remember to mention your social media handle so that we can shout you out on social media, because we always love to share our ratings with the wide world. In any case, on to the next one, as we are very far behind on our episode releases. Just remember, in the meantime, in the hang time, that we are Squawking Dead.